Hello and welcome to Chatting with MCEP. Today we're speaking to Isah Roach, who is the Children and Young Person Coordinator at the Royal Exchange. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Thanks very much for joining me on this afternoon of conversation for Chatting with MCEP. I guess first of all, I really wanted to speak to you for the work that you do. But generally, for people that are watching, maybe a little introduction to yourself and what that work is.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Isah, and I work for the Royal Exchange as the Children and Young People Coordinator. So I help coordinate and produce like all the work that we do with children, young people, schools, anywhere between basically the age of 4 and 21. Which covers quite a massive kind of age gap. But yeah, any of the work that we do with them, essentially, I'm there to kind of oversee and get it going, get it working.
Cool. And sort of, I mean, my main question before we talk a little bit more about the role is how did you get into that? Like, how do you become that? What's the title of your role again?
Children and Young People Coordinator.
Well, how do you become that?
So, I mean, it's been a bit of a strange journey for me, and I don't think many people have a journey similar to it. But I was part of the Royal Exchange Young Company between 2016 and 18. So I kind of got to see everything that the Royal Exchange did with children and young people from a participatory point of view. And then after I finished with in the young company, me and some friends set up our own theatre company, and I helped oversee a lot of the kind of work that we did with them. And that gave me a bit of an experience of what it's like to be kind of a producer and kind of create work with new people or people that you already know. And I also started doing some freelance work in high schools and stuff and colleges, just to kind of give myself something to do, because it also, young company coincided with me also finishing college. So it was just to try fill that time in that year. So yeah, I got to see what it's like from a participatory point of view. And then I saw the job come up and essentially just applied for it just on the off chance that I'd get it. And just to give me the chance to give back to something that gave me so much in terms of when I was in Young Company. I got show experience, I got mentorship, I got weekly sessions, networking opportunities, loads of kind of opportunities and skills that it gave me. And it's just gave me a chance to be able to give back to that and learn a bit about kind of producing a bit more as well, which I suppose is kind of a big part of the job.
And so, like what I think is dead interesting, and I mean, a bit like for me, I was, when I was younger, my creative outlet was acting and like maybe writing scripts, stuff like that. That interest then led me to do like filmmaking, producing, and I see the similarity there with you, how you crossed over to then doing the producing side and stuff like that. Like, how, I suppose for you, like, how did you ever contemplate being a producer, or say for example a coordinator, like early on? Like, was it something that you even knew was a job to do? Or
no on it, like I have learned since getting this job, I've learned so many different job roles that exist within theatre that I had no idea that existed. I thought it was, director, tech, creative team, performers. That was what I thought existed within a theatre. Didn't even have a thought about finance, marketing, like any of those kinds of things. I never really thought about them. So yeah, it was never. I trained as an actor at college, and when I was in the Young Company, I was an actor, and it was something that I loved doing. And basically, what my thought process was before I commit to any one thing, whether that's acting, directing, writing, producing, whatever, I need to go out and just try everything. try different things. So I got this job to try out what producing's like. I worked in a high school and college to try out directing. I helped direct A-level and GCSE pieces. I performed with obviously the Royal Exchange, and then later on I performed with a theatre company that we set up outside of a young company called Switch Manchester Theatre Collective. And I also tried a bit of writing. I do some spoken word poetry, so I write for that. So yeah, I just wanted to diversify my experiences, learn a bit about everything before I commit to one given thing, really.
And what I think
Yeah.
is interesting as well is like, you know, I sort of see that as, and I think a lot of creatives are like this, like, you know, sort of the one-man band sort of thing, or, you know, the person who's got like loads of different instruments at once and is like, which one? I mean, I often explain how my creative practice runs by saying, I'm literally spinning loads of plates and I just see which one spins the longest and takes me on that way. And I mean, the way that I judge that, I suppose, is like, you know, if I get paid for it, and also if it's something that I enjoy doing. I guess what's really interesting as well is like, I imagine you having this role at the Exchange as the young person's coordinator, as you say, like that to me looks like, I don't know, you have this experience that also can't be taught in a way because you've been through it. And I think that's a really interesting thing to look at. And how do you feel that that benefits your role now and your work? Do you relate to people, the young people that are through the processes that you coordinate?
Yeah. So I mean, it's been such a massive learning experience because in terms of creating opportunities for young people, like the opportunities that I had when I was younger, I loved them, and you try replicate that, but it's not always that possible to replicate it. So then you start finding new things and you start speaking and kind of having those consultations with more and more young people to find out what they want going forward. Yeah, it's such a kind of big day-to-day learning experience.
And I suppose for me as well, like, I mean, I being in a role that you learn from as well as give you skills for and like your own expertise to, I think is a really good thing to have in it, where you can learn on the job yourself whilst also, you know, collaborating and working with others. And I guess it sounds like for your practice, both with the Royal Exchange and the work you do outside of it, it's very collaborative. And I think that's really nice to look at, and also to see how, I don't know, it's like in the creative industry, especially, I see that, you know, things thrive when you've got that team of like collaborators around you. I think, would you agree?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And it is like all the work that we do in the engagement department within the Royal Exchange is it's so strongly collaboration based. Like all the work that we do, like it goes through so many kind of levels of how can we get other people involved, how can we get people from, so we have a kind of local exchange department in the engagement department that does all the stuff that's like in the different areas of Greater Manchester, and then we also have an elders company as well. So the collaboration opportunities between all those three, children, young people, elders and local, is just it's such an amazing kind of opportunity to work with. And I think what's so beautiful about the Manchester kind of, not even just the theatre scene, but the artistic scene in general, it's very close knit. Everyone kind of knows each other. Everyone is always trying to support each other. It's a very kind of wholesome community almost. And I think it's so nice to be able to take from that and, you know, have it to benefit you, but also give to it to benefit others as well.
Children and young person people coordinator is your title. Day to day, what does that consist of? Like, what is that? What are you doing?
Zooms, lots and lots of no. A lot of it is kind of email based. Setting up opportunities, kind of coordinating things within the whole company to make sure that everyone knows what's going on, and I've got the right kind of aspects of each department involved in that, from marketing to finance to tech to, you know what I mean, I suppose not so much tech at the moment, but and then coordinating with freelancers and practitioners. So a big part of it is just ongoing communication all the time, just talking to everyone, making sure everyone is aware of the work that we're doing, and make sure that we have got the right people in for the work that we're doing as well. So that's a massive part. Meetings obviously come into that because that's just part of the ongoing communication. Love a good meeting. much easier to do than obviously email correspondence. Yeah, and then a big part of it, which isn't so much day to day, but it's definitely week to week, is delivery, and just being there for the delivery of that, whether I'm kind of just in the background setting everything up, and helping the practitioner to run something, or whether I'm running something myself, like a consultation or just some a conversation or feedback. I think, yeah, a big part of it is delivery, and that is got to be the most fun part, because that's where you see all your work, all the emails, all the meetings, all the Zooms just come together to create something brilliant. So yeah, on a day-to-day basis, it's just ongoing communications throughout with so many different people. And then week to week, is communication delivery.
So I suppose like the reason for these videos is to, like, for anyone watching who wants to get involved with a creative career or go down that path, down that route. If you were, say for example, in a school, a college, a uni or whatever today, talking to a group of young people, I'm not going to be mean and put it down to one word of advice, but like, what would you say? What would you share with that group?
I've done this so many times. I've spoken to colleges, college students and school students. My biggest bit of advice is go out and get, because no one's going to give it to you. No one's going to come and make you sign up for Young Company. No one's going to make you sign up for this masterclass or this workshop or this audition. Like, no one's going to ever make you do that unless you've got an agent. But you have to have that attitude to just go and get. You have to have that want, that passion, that drive to just go out there and get it. And that's the thing that will carry you throughout your career, like that willingness to just go and get, not sit back and wait for someone to give it to you. Because the reality of it is that doesn't happen. So I think that's the biggest bit of advice I give to people. Like, go out there, find out about these things, like get involved with these things.
And with that in mind, I guess then, so it's kind of like wrapping up our conversation as well today, but how would you go about getting involved? Say if I was a young person wanting to get involved with the stuff that you're doing down at the Royal Exchange, like how would I look up some of that stuff and get involved?
So yes, our webpage, first things first, if you just go onto the Royal Exchange website, in the top right hand corner there's like a ribbon with a few kind of words on it. Hover over the one that says get involved, go down to Young Company. That's where all our information about everything that we do with 14 to 21 year olds is. We also have a children's company which is 4 to 13, and then also all the schools work that we do as well. It's all kind of listed on that get involved section on the Royal Exchange website. So that's first thing. Second thing is just get in touch with us. Get in touch with me. My email address is on the website. It's on, I think it's under the get contact us part, if you scroll down that page. But just get in touch with us, or just send, I think there's an email address that's just like boxoffice@royalexchange.co.uk. Email that, and that will find, if it's to do with children and young people work, it will find its way to me, and I will be in contact with you, and I will happily kind of have a phone call or have an email chat with you or a Zoom chat about if you are interested in the work that we do. If you don't feel like you need to drop me an email, then just sign up.
Cool. Oh, that's great. I mean, I think it's been really insightful just to talk to you about what I find really interesting is like you've said, you've come from a place of, just exploring stuff yourself that you're interested in, working with your mates that then became professional relationships that then got you into, setting up something that was great, as a great legacy in itself, to then now join an organization like the Royal Exchange, which is so respected with the work that it does in Manchester. And I think that what a great journey, and what a great inspiration to some lovely young people watching. But more so, thanks massively just for joining me today and for giving the time for this conversation.
Thank you for having me. Honestly, it's been a joy. It's been a joy, and I feel honored.